The FinTech Times are here at Innovate Finance Global Summit speaking to industry leaders, influencers, and major players within FinTech all about embedded finance. Let's see what they have to say.
Is embedded finance just another buzzword?
That's a great question to have here today at the Innovate Finance Summit. Embedded finance is really the future of our industry. The difficulty with embedded finance is that it means different things to different people, but ultimately it's about having the right infrastructure, the right combination of regulatory licensing as well as technology in order to be able to build new financial products and services quickly and sustainably and go to market in an efficient way. So embedded finance from our perspective is really a new way for businesses to get closer to their customers, to drive innovation and to drive growth.
Well, maybe a buzzword, but it's massively an opportunity. I think for a long time now, financial institutions have got this amazing source of data, customer data and spending information that's largely untapped. And embedded finance is all about tailoring these experiences and putting solutions that are relevant to customers at the right time.
Sort of. It's a very topical subject, but it started its life as banking as a service, then become embedded banking, and now embedded finance. It's a buzzword in the sense of sort of reincarnation, rather than a buzzword in there's no substance behind it. There's clearly substance behind it.
Embedded finance is a reality. Embedded finance is a predicted $90 billion market by 2026. That's not us saying it, that's Bain. And we see many companies, many banking as a service companies having a lot of success in the market in offering to their customers embedded finance solutions as a business to consumer type of solutions, business to business type of solutions as well. The value that these first use cases in embedded finance has created, being able to open accounts, create value added services for your consumers within your product, has stayed as really staying power. And we are really optimistic that this will only grow, delivering better financial services at the right time for consumers.
It will definitely democratize the finance in the way that many people who hasn't been included will be included to use financial services. For example, the people who hasn't been included because they are not able to receive a bank account, or for example, people who cannot get access to financial services because it's too costly, etc., etc. So the nature of embedded finance is about lower the cost, make it more easy for consumers, for people to use, and in my view, is to make it more inclusive for society, for the society.
Well, embedded finance is very exciting because it does genuinely democratize finance. Because the main game changer is that it means that any company can actually be a bank without being a bank. And I know that people still haven't quite got their head around that yet, but that is what open banking has actually done. And what that means is by any company being able to enable customers to see more of their money or to have straight-through processing, we've enabled genuinely what we do really for a select group of people to be accessible to anyone. And I think the biggest one we should look at is the Apple Wallet.
What is it about embedded finance that excites you the most?
Oh, there is so much. I think just the fact how many possibilities it can give to both financial and non-financial institutions that can then enhance their current offering and their current product roadmaps by providing solutions to their existing customers that currently were not available. So when people talk about embedded finance, I think the initial thought can be, oh, this is just going to be another form of banking, or it's just going to be another payment wallet. But actually the case is that you can do so much more on so many more different things that bring people and finance together on a day-to-day basis.
I think how it enables innovation. and allows people to focus where they want to put their resources, which is the innovation of services, not about building the underlying building blocks. And that's got to be a good story for people.
Payments and finance as a service within corporates has always been something that was more seen as a cost rather than an opportunity. The way that companies have looked at payments was as a required evil, an infrastructure that has, for most of the past 15 years, did not experience a lot of modernization. I think the biggest challenge when it comes to really realizing the promise of embedded finance for corporates is changing the behaviors, changing the perception within corporates, within as many broader companies as possible, to change payments and finance as an enabler of their business rather than something that's just a support function. That's, I think, the true mindset shift, which then has implications in terms of systems, infrastructure, where we support as a company, in terms of internal processes, in terms of compliance. As these corporates become more real-time, become more front-facing when they think about finance, I think the opportunity will start to get realized.
The biggest challenges in embedded finance really come from harmonization. And that's harmonization both from a regulatory perspective as well as technical perspective. Now, when we think about embedded finance, we cannot think about it in isolated terms. Embedded finance is the ability to offer a product or a service to a customer or customers across multiple geographies. So having that level of harmonization and standardization, both from a legal regulatory perspective and technical perspective, is going to be absolutely critical. The second biggest challenge is, I believe, around education, because developing the next layer of innovation requires it for many organizations a cultural change, a cultural shift. But I'm very happy to say that in the last 18 months, we're definitely seeing that cultural shift. More and more companies are thinking about embedded finance no longer as a cost center, but really as a way of getting closer to their customers, understanding their customers better, and ultimately driving value, creating new value and driving growth for the digital economy in general.
Integrating any type of financial services solution, if you're not a fully regulated financial services provider, is complicated. Particularly, you have to have so many different partners and different elements to bring together to bring a solution to life. Embedded finance is helping solve that, because the merchant can integrate with a single provider. The first iteration of embedded finance has really sought to create sort of one-stop shop options, and that has in a way had mixed success, because it depends on the partner selection of that embedded finance provider, and the merchant is putting all of their chips on a single solution. What I'm seeing right now, the next generation of embedded finance providers, is they're creating more of a modularized, like Lego approach. They're integrating with multiple providers of each of the underlying service providers, whether it's the payments processor, the core banking provider, the AML, the KYC, the card manufacturer, all the bits that you need. And so that actually, it de-risks, it creates options, it future-proofs. And I think that's going to be the way it's going to go.
I would say the very biggest challenge everyone who wants to or is looking into enabling, embedding finance services is understanding the type of a partner that they should be working with. So what sort of license do I need? What sort of partner do I need to work with if I want to enable this particular product? What partner is right for me? And what are the individual components of the solution that I need to be looking at to satisfy to launch this? And the other one is to make the whole experience, in particular if it's an add-on solution, super seamless for the end user. because I feel that even me as an individual, if there's a bit of a friction, if I'm taken away from the UX path I'm used to, you give up on the product and there can be high drop of rate. So the challenge is find the right partner with the right license and make your UX design seamless to the end users.
I would say the future is definite and the future is bright.
The future of embedded finance is not quite here yet. As I said, we are still at the very early stages of development of embedded finance. Ultimately, in the future, I believe that we will see any business out there providing in some shape or form a regulated financial service. It doesn't mean that everyone is going to get regulated. It doesn't mean that we will move away the responsibility for people's money to anyone and everyone in the marketplace. But what it means is that the infrastructure will be developed enough to allow businesses to adopt it very quickly and then innovate on top of it so that they can build new use cases and go to the customer faster in a more efficient way.
Very bright, very topical. Back to solving the attention economy. Companies are undoubtedly going to get into financial services, but you've got to pick the right partners. And what we're seeing is the regulators are very focused on following a lot of the successes so far on risk, on compliance, on resiliency. Because if you're providing large services to large number of customers, your platform better work. So definitely going to happen, but you're going to see a consolidation around specialists in risk, compliance and scalability.